to cover a very important topic of grammar, reported speech. I know it's a big headache for most of the students because they land up getting it wrong quite a few times. While checking papers, I have witnessed it myself. But today, if you watch this video till the end, I guarantee you, you will never make a single mistake. Conditions apply. Watch it with full concentration. Yes, I understand it is all about rules, but without that, trust me, even your communication will not be proper, right? You will end up making mistakes even in that. So for the same, kindly keep watching till the end. Yes? So here we shoot. Reported speech. What is reported speech? Actually, what do you understand by it? Reported speech is how we represent the speech of other people or what we ourselves say. There are two main types of reported speech, direct speech and indirect speech. Now, here it is right there in front of you with a clear-cut example. The teacher is strict. Now, she's saying that, you know, A, okay, let's consider this as A. Now, A is telling B. She said the teacher was strict. So, this is your direct speech. It is the speech directly from the speaker's mouth, whoever is speaking. So, these are the words of the speaker, and this is, she is telling the words of the speaker to somebody else. That becomes your indirect speech. The teacher is giving everyone an A. Now, he is telling someone. Now, his friend tells to another person, he said the teacher was giving everyone an A. So, A told it to B, B is telling it to C. So, when A is telling it to B, that's direct speech. When the same words are being said by B to C to someone else, it becomes your indirect speech. I'm sure you have understood by now, at least so much. So, let's get how, we are supposed to tackle both of them, right? Direct speech is a representation of the actual words someone said. The actual words, the speaker, whatever he says, that's direct speech. Indirect speech focuses more on the content of what someone said rather than their exact words. Here we do not deal with the exact words. They change. The content changes there. With a few changes, we apply certain rules, so it changes. A direct speech report usually has a reporting verb in the past simple. A reporting verb means the teacher said. So, said is your reporting verb. Open your books. Open your books is what she speaks. But said is the reporting verb. In indirect speech, the structure of the reported clause depends on whether the speaker is reporting a statement, a question, or a command. Now, this is something which we need to take care of. When we are talking of reported speech, now you are going to apply it on the 4 different types of sentences. Which are they? You have declarative, that's a proper statement. It can be negative, it can be affirmative, irrespective, right? Then you will talk of imperative sentences where it is a request or a command or an order. Then you will talk of interrogative sentences, right? Questions. And you will talk of exclamation, like, exclamatory sentences, which the sentences which end with an exclamation mark. Oh, ouch, alas, those types. So you have to make sure that you know to transform, because see, I'll tell you how it comes in the exam. In the exam, it comes as a transformation of sentence. So change it to reported speech, it will ask you to change the speech. So if it is direct, you will go to indirect. I don't think it comes the other way around, but you should know both anyways. Yeah. So you have to tackle these 4 types of sentences, which is extremely important because every type of sentence has a different set of rules. So once your rules are very clear to you, you cannot make a mistake. And there's one more thing. Those of you who are fluent speakers, those who converse in English, will not really even need the rules. I'm telling you. When you speak, it just naturally comes. It comes with the flow. Because when you say something wrong, you automatically come to know. So those who are fluent speakers, it's a bonus for you. It's really beneficial. Yeah. The most common reporting verb is said. The reporting clause may come first or second. Now this we will see when we are solving different sentences. The teacher said, open the books. Open the books, the teacher said. So that can come first or second. That's your reporting clause. Please remember these terms. It's very important because further down as we use the rules, we will be using the same terminology. So please understand it now itself, right? You understood what it means, right? The reporting verb is, it can be said or told, right? Most of the times it is said because that's what they said. It is the most common reporting verb. And of course, the reporting clause, the teacher said, you know, so it can come before the actual spoken words or after. It can come anywhere. So that doesn't make a difference. So yeah, let's move on. Rohit said to Mudit, I am going to school. Now, Rohit said to Mudit is actually your reporting clause. And what is said to your reporting verb? Clear? Reporting clause and said to is your reporting verb. I am going to school. Now, the words which generally come before the inverted commas are called the reporting clause. We just spoke of it. Rohit said to Mudit, and the verb said is called the reporting verb. The words spoken by Rohit put within the inverted commas are called the reported speech. That is, I am going to school. So, do you understand now? You have the reporting clause, Rohit said to Mudit. You have the reporting verb said and you have the reported speech. Okay. So, we are clear with everything? Yes, I'm sure. Move on. Rules for changing direct speech into indirect speech. In the indirect speech, no inverted commas are used. So, inverted commas, like you saw here, they are coming only for the reported speech. This is your direct speech. Direct means the direct words spoken by the speaker. That's your direct speech. In the indirect speech, we do not use inverted commas. The conjunctions that, if, whether are generally used after the reporting verb. So when you are, changing, when you are rewriting your sentence in the indirect speech, right? You're making it from the direct into indirect. That time we will add that, if or whether after the reporting verb. Correct? What's the reporting verb? It can be said, it can be told. Remember? The first word of the reported speech begins with a capital letter. Extremely important to remember. Whenever you are talking of the reported speech, okay, can you see the I? It's the first word. Okay, the first letter of the first word has to be a capital. It's capital letter. You cannot start with small, your marks will get cut. So whenever you are writing a sentence in a quote, right, inverted commas, you will definitely begin with a capital letter. The tense of the reporting verb is never changed. Again, the tense of the reporting verb is said. It will remain said. It cannot be will say or says. No future, no present. If it is past, said is past, right? It will remain the same. You cannot change the tense of the reporting verb. Remember that. Yes? The reporting verb changes according to the sense. It may be told, asked, inquired. That is okay. It is not, is it changing into present tense or future tense? No. Said can become told. If it's a question, if you're changing a question, an interrogative sentence, then you will, instead of said, you will put asked or inquired. Yeah. So it's not changing the tense. Please understand this very, very well. One more important thing I would like to tell you is said plus to. Now, said plus to is equal to told. Listen, very often children get confused when to use said and when to use told. I'm telling you, please understand with your ears wide open. Rohit is the speaker. Mudit is the listener. Okay, he is receiving the sentence. Again, Rohit is the speaker, Mudit is, he's telling it to Mudit, right? There is a listener here, it is mentioned to us. So, whenever you have the speaker and the listener mentioned and it is said to, so said plus to is equal to told. Again, you will use told only if you have the receiver, the one you are telling the sentence to. That is a receiver. So, if that has been mentioned, then said plus to is equal to told. Please remember that always. Yeah. Now, when you are changing, the tenses and you are reconstructing the sentence into a different form, you have to also take care of your pronouns. Yeah. Now, the first person pronouns, that's I, me, my, we, us, our, all of these, nothing beyond this. In the reported speech, change according to the subject of the reporting verb. Now here it is, right here. I, me, my, we, us, our in the reported speech. Our reported speech is what here? I like the book. That's the reported speech, right? We have I, okay. Now this changes according to the subject of the reporting verb. Reporting verb is said. What is the subject of the reporting verb? He, right? So this I changes according to he. So he said that he liked the book. He said, remember we said we can add a conjunction that, if or whether, okay, after the reporting verb, this is it is. Now, he said that he liked the book, okay, that is how it goes. The pronouns of the second person, you, your, yourself, in the reported speech change according to the object of the reporting verb. Now, object of the reporting verb, now here we don't have the object, right? So, I'll tell you as a sentence comes across. So, example, if we, Rohit said to Mudit, okay, when we had that example, right? So, you have Mudit, so it is you, right? We have the receiver, we have the person whom we are addressing the sentence to. So, we have the object, it will change according to that. Then, the pronouns of the third person do not change. Third person is what? He, she, it, himself, herself, his, her, all the third person, they, right, them, all those are the third person. So, he said he likes the book, he said that he liked the book. Okay, this is similar, this is in the first person and this is in the third person. Third person does not change. That's what we just said. He is the third person. Remember which is your third person pronoun? He, she, it, then his, her, right? And if it's himself, herself, based on that. Themselves, they, them, right? Plural as well. Okay, so we are clear with pronouns? Yes, just keep this in mind. And I'm again telling you, see, get clear with the concept, but when you start doing it, you will automatically get it. You will automatically feel there is something wrong if you're going wrong. Okay, so please make sure that you are glued here. Now, changes in words expressing nearness, time and auxiliaries. Now, here when you have nearness, distance, time and auxiliaries, what will they change to? So, let's see. This to that, there, sorry, it's these, those, now, then, here, there, today, that day, tomorrow, the next day, yesterday, the previous day, last night, the previous night. So, what we are reading here is your direct speech. What we are reading here will change to indirect speech. In the indirect speech, this will change to that. These will change to those. So, please understand these are all your direct speech and this what we are, it is changing to is changing in the indirect speech. Can, could, may, might, shall, should, will, would, ago, before. Yes, you have to learn these. That much attempt you will have to do. Come on, that much effort we can put in. Now, just then, come, go, thus, so. So when we are solving these sentences, we will apply these. Now, the next comes change in tenses. See, we saw change of pronouns. We saw the changes of the words, nearness, time, distance. Now, most importantly, you need to know the change in tenses. It's extremely important. See, I'll tell you one thing, it's very understood factor. If I am telling you right now, I am the speaker, I am quoting the words, these are, tenses, these are change in tenses. Now, you are listening to me right now. So, the reported speech is change in tenses, what I said. Vimla ma'am said change in tenses. Okay, this is change in tenses. Now, you will go and tell your friend or your sibling or anybody after some time, right? So, it will become past. Right now, I mean, it is maybe 3 o'clock in the afternoon. You might even go and tell your friend at 3:10 or 3:05. The time is gone, it's past, the tense has changed, right? So, likewise, we have to take care of all the tenses. Did you understand? What A is saying to B, I said to you right now. You are going and telling C, some third person, the time has changed. If this is 3 in the afternoon, if you are going and telling at 3:10 or even 3:05, the time has changed, correct? Now that will change the tenses too. So, let's look at this. If the reporting verb is in the present or the future tense, the tense of the reported speech is not changed. Now, reporting verb is which? Quick, come on, before I say it. Will say. Very good. Now, will say means which tense? Future, because will is there. Will indicates future. So, Satish will say, I want a glass of milk. This is there in inverted commas. That means this sentence, the first sentence is direct speech. Correct? We want to convert it into indirect speech. So, what all will we do? Now, first we have to look at our reporting verb. The reporting verb is in future. So, when your reporting verb is in the present or the future, the tense in the reported speech, which is the reported speech, I want a glass of milk, does not change. So, Satish will say no change. We will add conjunction that, if or whether. If or whether will come later, I shall explain. Currently, we will use that. So, Satish will say that he, I will change to he because it is Satish. He wants a glass of milk. Present, present. Both remain in the same form. The tense of the reported speech does not change. Likewise, if your reporting verb is in the present tense, says, right? Satish says, I am flying a kite. Okay. Now, says is present, right? The reporting verb is in the present tense. So, what does the rule tell you? The tense of the reported speech does not change. So, am flying. Am is what? Present. Ing is continuous. So, it is continuous. It will remain in the same tense. Satish says that he is flying a kite. This is applicable when you are talking about the reporting verb in the future or in the present tense. Now, if the reporting verb is in the past tense, that means said or told, then the tense of the reported speech will change as follows. So, your present simple, I want a holiday, will change to past simple, she told me she wanted a holiday. Want will change to wanted. Bob is annoying me. Is annoying, present continuous, changes to past continuous. Jane said Bob was annoying her. I have eaten too much, that's present perfect. He said he had eaten too much, that's past perfect. The class has been interesting. Now, this is present perfect continuous. Anne said that the class had been. Now, has becomes had. That's it. Past perfect continuous. I saw her arrive. Simple past. He told me he had seen. So, Saw becomes had seen. Again, that's past perfect. The team was playing well. John said the team had been playing well. Now, had been, past continuous becomes past perfect continuous. Past is had, perfect, had, has or had. Now, we are talking of past perfect. So, it will be had been playing. I had arrived before 9 a.m. Had arrived. It's past perfect. In this case, she said that she had arrived before 9 a.m. No change. Past perfect does not change. We had already been dating for 3 years. That is past perfect continuous. Again, Mick told me that they had been dating for 3 years. No change. So you have to remember past perfect and past perfect continuous does not change. They remain the same. I'll tell you a very easy way to remember this. Simple present changes to simple past. Simple past changes to past perfect. Past perfect does not change. It is a cycle. Again, simple present changes to simple past. Simple past in the direct speech changes to past perfect in the indirect speech. Past perfect in the direct speech does not change in the indirect speech. Present continuous, past continuous. Present perfect, past perfect. This much is clear? Simple? Got it? Now, past continuous changes to past perfect continuous. You have to remember it like this, right? Moving further. Now you have will, of course, the future. I will take you out tonight. So will changes to would. Can changes to could. Must changes to had to. May to might. Ought to. Now see all these. Ought to, should, would, could, might. You know, which have already changed there. They have no change. We need to just remember this. Will to would, can to could, must to had to, may to might. Apart from these, none of them will change. Please keep this in your mind. It is definitely very much required when we start solving the sentences. Now, you need to remember one more thing which is very important. Direct speech expressing a historical fact, universal truth, or a habitual fact. What happens to those? When you have a historical fact, when you have a universal truth, or you have a habitual fact. In that case, when you change your sentences from direct to indirect speech, what all do you do, or rather what all you don't do? Direct. He said the sun rises in the east. Now this is a universal truth. Everyone knows it, right? The whole world knows this, the whole universe. So indirect, he said that the sun rises in the east. It does not change. In these cases, when you have historical facts or the universal truth or the habitual facts, in this case also, the verbs, the tense of the verbs does not change. Rakesh said, I am an early riser. Rakesh said that he is an early riser. It's a habitual fact. He gets up early every day. He is an early riser. She said, God is omnipresent. God is everywhere, omnipresent. She said that God is omnipresent. It's a fact, right? Universal. He said, honesty is the best policy. Now, when you have such proverbs, please make sure we use them and we keep them just the same. He said that honesty is the best policy, right? So, when you have these sentences, you have to take care that you don't apply the changes of the tenses. They remain the same. Of course, the commas, the inverted commas go. We add the conjunction. That happens. But we do not change the tense of the verb in the reported speech. Moving further, You have the changing statements into the indirect speech. Now, as I told you earlier, the reporting verb said to is changed to told. Please, it is not told to. It's wrong. It is only told. Because in the told, the to already is there. Said to is equal to told, not to told. That's wrong English. It can be replied, remarked. The reporting verb is not followed by an object. It is not changed. The reporting verb, okay, is not followed by an object. It is not changed. You cannot have an object after the reporting verb. Also, you cannot change. Said will remain said, as in the tense you cannot change. The inverted commas are removed. Of course, we said that. The conjunction is used to connect the reporting clause with the reported speech. Reporting clause, the teacher said. So, to connect that and the reported speech into one, we use a conjunction. It can be which three? Come on. That, if, whether. Those are the conjunctions. So, here we go. I said I agree to what he said. I said I agree to what he said. Now, see, this is the subject I. So, I said that conjunction. Okay, so first let's look at this. Is this any of the historical fact or universal truth or a habitual fact? No, it's not. Correct? 1. So, that means we can change the tense. Second, is our reporting verb in present or future? No, it is in the past. Said. So, we will apply all the rules. As in, we will change the tense as well. You have to ask yourself these questions so that you don't make a blunder. So, I said that I agreed. Simple present changes to simple past. I agreed to what he had said. He said, he had said. Past changes to past perfect, had. Are we clear? Listen attentively. I said to my friend, he has been working very hard. I said to becomes told. I told my friend that he, okay, he, you're talking about the third person, doesn't change. Had, present perfect changes to past perfect. So, has been will become, okay, now this is present perfect continuous. Has been working, it will become past perfect continuous. Had been working very hard, no inverted commas. My friend said to me, I shall go to Delhi tomorrow. Okay, universal truth? No. Habitual fact? No. Is it a historical fact? No. Is the reporting verb in present or future? No. In that case, we will change the tense. Please ask yourself these 5 questions. So, my friend said to me, I shall go to Delhi tomorrow. My friend, now said to, told. My friend told me that. Now, my friend, this is the subject. So, I will change to he, change of pronouns. I depends on the subject. So, it's my friend, matlab he. He shall changes to would go to Delhi. Tomorrow changes to the next day. You remember those times? Today, then, tomorrow, the next day, yesterday, the previous day. So, likewise, tomorrow will become the next day. So, let's move further. Now, let's move on to the different types of sentences. Now, here we will talk of the interrogative sentences. Now, the reporting verb say is changed into ask or inquire. Depending, it is say or said. So, that's the reporting verb. The interrogative sentence is changed into a statement by placing the subject before the verb and the full stop is put at the end of the sentence. Now, you might have a question in the reported speech. Agreed. Your sentence is ending with a question mark. It is put in inverted commas. Now, we have to change this into indirect speech. Now, we all know that in indirect speech, we do not use a punctuation mark excepting for full stop. Yeah, maybe a comma or a full stop. but we do not use a question mark, we do not use an exclamation. So in that case, how will we change it? Watch this. We will put a full stop at the end and we will remove the question. How? If the interrogative sentence has a WH word, that is who, when, where, how, why, etc., when you're expecting some answer, the WH word is repeated in the sentence, it serves as a conjunction. If your question is a WH word, please remember this, I will keep repeating, don't worry. If the interrogative sentence is a yes or a no answer. Now see, before we go further, let me tell you that there are two types of questions. Which are the two types of questions? Supposing first I tell you, what is your name? Rather, I ask you, what, WH, what is your name? So obviously, you are going to come with an answer saying, my name is XYZ, whatever, right? My name is XYZ. Now, you have to answer me. You have to give me some sentence. Now, if I ask you another question, are you understanding reported speech? Your answer will either be a yes or a no. If it's a no, watch the video again. But I'm sure it's a yes. So, are you understanding reported speech? And your answer will be either a yes or a no. In that case, what happens? So, if the interrogative sentence is a yes-no answer type sentence with auxiliary verbs am, are, was, were, do, did, have, shall, etc., then if or whether is used as a conjunction. Remember, we were talking about those three conjunctions. So far, we were using that. But now, if or whether we will be using only and only in the interrogative sentence which has the answer yes or no. We will be using if or whether only in those sentences, rather only in those questions whose answers are yes or no. Got it? Yes. The auxiliary do, does, did in a positive question in the reported speech are dropped. This you will understand better when we solve examples. So let's move on. Here they go. Now, in case of questions and answers, Nagesh asked, have you bought this book? Now, have you bought this book? You are going to answer either a yes or a no. Now, if you are going to answer a yes or a no, you are going to use if or whether. Please remember, yes or no, if or whether. Remember it like that. So, Nagesh asked will remain asked. If or whether, choice is yours, you can use any, both are correct. If or whether I had bought. Now, this is present perfect, have bought. It will change to past perfect, had bought. So, I had bought that book. Question mark disappears, full stop comes. No question mark, no exclamations. So, please remember. Nagesh asked, where is the novel? Now, where is the novel? You will not answer yes or no. You will tell him the novel is in the bag or the novel is on the table. You will have some answer. In that case, Nagesh asked, where? You will keep the WH word. You will not add any conjunction. No that, no if, no whether. WH word, no conjunction. Where the novel was. Is will become was. Simple present to past and full stop, no question mark. Likewise, so it's given here. For yes or no questions, use if or whether. For WH questions, use the WH word. No conjunction. The word order, please remember this. Nagesh asked, what's the matter? Nagesh asked what the matter was, full stop. It is direct, this is indirect. Nagesh asked what was the matter. You can use it either ways. Yes, so you have to do according to that. The conjunction is not used after the reporting clause. Like we already discussed, mother said to me, what are you doing here? Now, very important. Mother said to me, but she's asking me something. What are you doing here? It's a question. So, the said to gets converted to asked. So, mother asked me, what I was doing there. You becomes I, it's me, right? She's asking me. So what was I doing there? Likewise, I said to him, where are you going? Again, I'm asking a question. So said to becomes asked. So I asked him where he was going. It is him. So he will come. Please take care of all this. Him is there, so he will come. Where he was going. This is are going, present continuous becomes past continuous. When can we have dinner? She asked. Now, do you see your reporting clause has come behind? Remember, right in the beginning, we said it can either come in the front or it can come behind. So now it has come behind. So you can bring it in the front, not an issue. She asked when. When remains when. WH word, there's no change. Can becomes could, right? So when they could have dinner, full stop, no question mark. Clear everything, right? So it depends whether it is a yes or no question or it is a WH question. If it is a WH question, you will use the WH question and not a conjunction. If your question is a yes or a no answer type question, in that case, we will use if or whether and join the sentences. We will remove the question mark. We will change the tense. And if the reporting verb is said, it will become asked. That's it in case of interrogative sentences. You still have some more examples. He said, can you dance? And I said no. Now, a little more to it. He asked me if I could dance. Now, if will come, can you dance? It is a yes or a no. So, if or whether. So, he asked me if I can changes to could dance and I replied that I couldn't. No, I can't. It's like no, I can't. So, I replied that I couldn't. Can't changes to couldn't. Likewise, my mother said, will you come home on time? And I said yes. My mother asked me if will changes to would, if I would come home on time, and I replied that I would. Will is there, no? Yes, I will. That should have been the complete answer. So, replied that I would. Will changes to would. Now, the next set of sentences. If you have commands and requests, in that case what? So, in imperative sentences having commands, the reporting verb is changed into command, order, tell, allow, request, etc. We will see with the sample sentences. The imperative mood, first and foremost. What do you mean by an imperative sentence? Yes, open the door. Switch on the camera, switch off the TV, come here, get me a glass of water, fetch the book. You are giving directly some command. Please get me a glass of water. You're requesting, right? So likewise, when you have imperative sentences, they begin with a verb. They do not have a subject. They begin with a verb. In that case, the imperative mood is changed into infinitive mood. What do we mean by infinitive? Please remember this. Like I've told you, the terminology should be very clear in your head. It's very much required because 9th, 10th, still further down, you will need this. So what is infinitive? Infinitive is nothing but to plus verb. So if you are talking of play, to sing, to dance, to read. So to plus verb makes it infinitive verb. Okay. So in this case, what it is? The imperative mood is changed into infinitive mood by putting to before the verb. In case of negative sentences, the auxiliary do is dropped and to is placed after not. Let's watch. The captain said to the soldiers, attack the enemy. Do you see the reported speech does not have a subject? It is directly starting with the verb attack. So it is an imperative sentence. So the captain commanded, you can say that because he's commanding to his officers, to his soldiers. Commanded the soldiers to attack the enemy. To plus verb. Inverted commas gone, full stop. Here we are not adding a conjunction, we are adding to instead. Why? Because it is a verb. I mean directly a verb, there is no subject to it. So the captain commanded the soldiers to attack the enemy. Likewise, I said to my friend, please lend me your book. Now, the moment the word please comes, it's a request, correct? So, I requested my friend. I did not, you will not say I requested to. Said to becomes requested. I requested my friend to. Now, the please has converted into request. So, don't write the word please again. Please don't write please, okay? Yes, the please has got converted into requested. So, I requested my friend to lend me his book. To lend. So, whenever you have a reported speech beginning with a verb, it is an imperative sentence. Imperative takes infinitive. What is infinitive? To plus verb. So, my friend to lend me his book. Okay, here you go. There are so many more. Now, how are the different types of imperative sentences? You have keep quiet, which is a command. You have request, please close the window. You're saying please, that means you're requesting. Advice, go and lie down, take the medicine, don't talk. Suggestions, take the test next year instead. You are giving a suggestion. The doctor is advising you. So likewise, you see all the sentences are beginning with a verb. In that case, it is a command, request, advice or suggestion. Now, if you look at this, how they have been solved. I said to the child, do not look down into the well. Now, you see this is a negative imperative. It is an imperative sentence. There is no subject, right? It is a negative imperative. So, how do we do it? I warned the child, you're warning someone, right? Not to look down. See, look is the verb. We want infinitive. Infinitive means what? To plus verb, correct? So, not to look down. Your negative will come first. You cannot omit the negative, right? So, not to look down into the well, full stop. He said to me, wait here till I return. Wait, verb, right? Imperative sentence. So, he asked me to wait. He asked me, he told me, he requested me, anything can come, not a problem. That's not to worry about, okay? He asked me to wait there, to wait. Wait is the verb. So, infinitive, to plus verb. To wait there till I return means who? He. So, till he returned. Present becomes past, right? Please take care of every verb in the sentence. Jim said to me, please lend me your pen. Jim, now it's please, so requested. So, Jim requested me. Now, lend is the verb, so to lend. To lend me means who? Him. He wanted it, no? So, him, my pen. He told me. So, he wants my pen. So, requested me to lend him my pen. Pronouns, tenses, take care. The last one, the doctor said to the patient, quit smoking. The doctor advised, the doctor will always advise you, right? So, the doctor advised, now said to becomes advised. Advised the patient to, quit is the verb, so to quit smoking. Got it? Now, this is how you will change your sentences from direct to indirect speech in case of imperative sentences. Yes? Let's move further. Some more clarity on negative imperatives in reported speech. When we want to make an imperative reported speech sentence negative, how do we go about? We simply add in not before the to infinitive. So it is always not plus to plus verb, right? Not to open, not to sing, not to shout, right? She said, don't keep talking. Now, this is a negative, right? She instructed us not to keep, like we said, not to verb. So, not to keep talking. Please don't study too hard, the teacher said. Oh, wow, that's a lucky student. Don't study too hard. So, the teacher asked them not to study too hard. He told her, don't wait up for me. He urged me not to wait up for him. The doctor said, don't overeat. The doctor advised me not to overeat. So it's always not plus to plus the verb, right? So it's not plus the infinitive. That's your negative imperative. Now, you also have sentences with let. See, I am covering all the different types of sentences which come for changing direct to indirect, right? From direct to indirect. So, these are all the different types of sentences we are covering. You have to keep the basic rules in your mind, right? Once you're done, you're sorted. So, yeah, let's go for let. Now, let is used in various meanings. Let is used to make a proposal. Let us do this, let us do that. You're making a proposal. Now, the first change the reporting verb into proposed or suggested. You will first change the reporting verb into proposed or suggested. Then you will use should instead of let. This is what you have to do. So, he said to me, let us go home. He suggested to me that we should go home. Okay. So, it is let becomes should. You propose or you suggest. So, he suggested to me that we should go home. That will come as a conjunction. Then, let is also used to allow. Now, here it was a proposal or a suggestion. Now, here it is also allow as permission. So, in indirect speech, we change the reporting verb to requested or ordered. Okay. We start reported speech with to. So, Ram said to Mohan, let him do it. You're giving permission. So, Ram ordered Mohan to let him do it. We begin the reported speech with to. Or, Ram told Mohan that he might be allowed to do that. But that's okay. I think we'll stick to this one. Ordered Mohan to let him do that. So, there are two cases in case of let. One is either he proposed or suggested, right? In that case, we will say suggested and then we will say that. Okay, we say that and let becomes should. Whereas when it comes to requested and ordered, when it is allow, it's coming from that aspect. Then Ram ordered Mohan to let him do that, right? That is in case of let sentences. Sentences with modals. Now, we all know our modals: can, could, may, might, will, would, shall, should, so many of them, right? In this case, what happens? Can becomes could, will, would, shall, should, may, might. Okay? In this case, these change to this. But would, should, could, might, ought to, and must remain unchanged. If these come in your sentences from direct to indirect, you will not change them. They will remain the same. Mahesh said, sir, may I go home? Mahesh respectfully asked his sir if he might go home. Why if? Why not that? Do you see? It's a question where your answer is yes or no. If you remember again, yes or no questions have if or whether. Nagesh said, I can solve this sum. Nagesh said that he could solve that sum. I means he, Nagesh. Can becomes could. This becomes that. No inverted commas. Full stop. Do you get it? So where you have sentences using all these models, this is how you are supposed to tackle it. Take care of the ones which we don't have to change. They will remain unchanged, and only change those. The rest of the sequence, everything remains the same. Not to worry, not too much of a headache. They are just a part of it. Then if you have to or had to, there are certain sentences with have to or have to. Change have to according to the rules, that becomes had to, but change had to into had to. Remember this. Have to will become had to because present will become past, simple. But if it is had to, then it will become had. It's not a mistake. It's had to. Okay, you will see. Hari said, I have to work a lot. Hari said that he had to work a lot. Simple. I is he, it's Hari. Have is present, had. No inverted commas, full stop. But Hari said, I had to work a lot. Now here it is already past, correct? So, Hari said that he had to work a lot. It's not wrong. It's correct. He had to work a lot. Do you get it? So that is in case of sentences having have to or had to. Okay? See, every minute thing is being clarified for you. Every concept is being cleared. After this, when you do a lot of practice of your sentences, trust me, this whole topic will be sorted and there is no way that you can lose a single mark in this topic. And towards the end, we have exclamations and wishes. You know, exclamations. Sometimes exclamatory sentences contain exclamations like hurrah, alas, oh, heavens, bravo, etc. Such exclamatory words are removed in the indirect speech and we use exclaimed with sorrow, exclaimed with joy, exclaimed with surprise, etc. instead of said. So when you have a sentence ending in with an exclamation, okay, with an exclamation mark, that changes. In that case, the reporting verb said changes to exclaim with joy, exclaim with sorrow, exclaim with sadness, exclaim with excitement. Now that depends on the type of sentence that we have. Let's watch how it is. Mohan said, what a pity. Now do you see the exclamatory mark there? You see the exclamation there? You have the quotes, it's direct speech. Mohan exclaimed. The exclamation mark becomes exclaimed. That it was a great pity. Okay? I said, how stupid he is. I exclaimed, your exclamation mark becomes exclaimed. I exclaimed that it was very stupid of him. Now remember, we are not supposed to use any punctuation marks in the indirect speech. Only a full stop. So even the exclamation mark becomes exclaimed, right? That is why we don't use any punctuation there. My mother said, may God bless you. My mother prayed to God for my well-being. Now this is how we will change our exclamation and wishes. So, all the sentences in inverted commas are exclamatory sentences. Use exclaimed in place of said in the reporting verb in the indirect speech. We did it here. We changed the said to exclaimed. In indirect sentences, we use exclamatory sentences as statements. Here we've made it a statement. This is an exclamatory sentence. Here in indirect speech, we've made it into a normal statement. Indirect speech begins with that and full stop is used instead of exclamation mark. We did that. All the exclamation marks disappeared and they became a full stop and they begin with that. You, according to your sentences, that it was, yeah. We will use that for the same. So now that we have done all the different types of sentences, we covered each and every aspect, each and every type of sentences, whether negative, whether a statement, all of them. See, just put in once that effort, okay? Just go through just once. Here you have all the different types of them, right? And how we are supposed to solve them. Quickly, just let's read through it. So, yeah, that will how your question be. Change the following sentences into indirect speech. He said, I will do it now. Okay, he said that he would do it then. It's now, it's then. Will become would, I will become he because it is he here. Subject. He says honesty is the best policy. He says that honesty is the best policy. It is universal, it is a proverb, so we will not change anything. It remains the same, and moreover, reporting verb is present tense. So we will not make any changes in the tense form. Not any changes, no. In the tense form of the verb, it will remain is only. It will not change to past. Ramesh says, I have written a letter. Now, Ramesh says. Can we look at our reporting verb? It is which tense? It is says. It is present tense. Correct? So, will we make any changes? No, we will not make any changes in the tense of the verb. The present will not become past. So, Ramesh says that he has written a letter. He has written. Okay, it is present only. Has is not past, but because it is he, we are putting it as has. It is not changing. The tense, the verb form is not changing. Okay, she said Mahesh will be reading a book. Now, said is there. Fine, not an issue. That means we can change it. It is the past tense. This is not a historical fact, not a universal truth, not a habitual action. So, we will change it. So, she said Mahesh will be reading a book. She said that Mahesh would be reading a book. Will change to would. She said, where is your father? Now here you have an answer. It is not a yes or no. That means we will not use if or whether. So we will use the same. She inquired where his father was. Where is your father? She is asking somebody. So his father. Correct? She inquired where his father was. Do you see there is no punctuation, no question mark, no inverted full stop. He said to me, please take your book. Imperative sentence, request. So, he requested me. What do we do for imperative? Infinitive. I. Imperative sentence beginning with a verb, right? The reported speech beginning with a verb. What do we do? Infinitive, to plus verb. So, he requested me to take my book. Clear? And the last one. The principal said to the peon, let this boy go out. The principal ordered the peon to let. Now this is permission, order. To let that boy go out. This will become that. So we have all types of sentences covered. Again, it was a good brush up. And now it's time for you to take over. Do a lot of your practice sentences which are there in the notes. A lot of practice work has been given. Please attempt each one of them and make sure you master the topic, just like you need to master your speech. Speech is power. Speech is to persuade, to convert, to compel. If you don't converse correctly, if your speech is not accurate, if your speech is not well furnished, well equipped with good vocabulary, correct grammar, then I'm sorry, you will never be able to persuade anybody. Yeah, you have to win it over. Only then can, yes, you guarantee yourself to move ahead really fast and really strong. Yes, you got to do it. Yes, to keep moving stronger, to keep moving faster, keep watching and keep learning.